Hi, hello everyone. This is your educator, your tutor, your friend Sanjay Kumar Vishwakarma. I welcome you all to yet another session of V-Learning. V-Learning is a platform which focuses on providing right to quality education to one and all. So do watch this session. If you like it, do press the like button and share it with your other friends who are preparing for their boards and competition as well. Okay, subscribe to our channel and do not forget to click on the bell icon so that you do not miss any update from us. Now, without any delay, let's get started with today's session. We were doing electric charges and fields, and this is lecture number 2. I hope you have revised the first lecture, Coulomb's law, right? So here in this session, we are going to do questions based on Coulomb's law. Interesting questions, good questions. Your NCERT questions are these questions, okay? Along with that, some extra questions are also there. Forces between multiple charges also we'll see. So in the last session, we saw forces between two charges, correct? In this session, we'll be seeing forces between multiple charges, when more than two charges are there, when a lot of charges are there. Okay, and then superposition principle also comes into picture. This is again important from board's point of view, the definition of this. The questions, they are important from JEE perspective as well. Okay, let's get started with the questions of Coulomb's law. So now Coulomb's law for electrostatic force between 2 point charges and Newton's law for gravitational force between two stationary point masses both have inverse square dependence on the distance between the charges and masses respectively. I hope you understood this. In the last session only what we discussed was, if suppose there are two charges kept, Q1 and Q2, distance r between them, then the electrostatic force experienced by this charge due to this charge will be, or this charge due to this charge will be, electrostatic force is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square, correct? And suppose if 2 point masses are kept, if this is M1, this is M2, now this you have studied in your 11th standard, and the distance between them is R. What is the gravitational force? G M1 M2 by R square, correct? Both follow inverse square law. So now what they are telling is, first part is compare the strength of these forces by determining the ratio of their magnitudes. So now we have to compare these both, electrostatic force and gravitational force. First part is for an electron and a proton. So for an electron and a proton, we have to find the electrostatic force between them. Along with that, we have to find the gravitational force between them, and we have to take the ratio of that, those forces. Fine. Let's start. First part. So now suppose there is a proton and there is an electron. Now this is an electron. This is a proton. Just I have shown with a positive and negative charge. So this is carrying a minus E charge and this is carrying a plus E charge. The mass of this electron is, mass of electron, let's write Me. Mass of proton, MP. Correct? So the charge is minus E plus E and the mass is Me and MP. And let's say the distance between them is R. So now can we write the electrostatic force? Yes. Electrostatic force is equal to K Q1 Q2 E into E, right? E square. We just have to write the magnitude, not the signs. Okay. Divide by R square. K E square divided by R square. These signs just tell whether the attractive force will be there or repulsive force will be there. Now, if I write gravitational force, can I write? I have been given with the masses and the distance between them. So gravitational force is equal to G M1 M2 by R square. M1 M2 means mass of electron and mass of proton. Me MP by R square, right? Now Let's take the ratio, or let's write the value. So this will be 9 into 10 power 9 into e square 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 whole square, divide by r square, right? Here gravitational force, what we'll get, G, what is the value of G? I hope you remember. 6.674 into 10 power minus 11. 6.674 into 10 power minus 11. What is the mass of electron? 9.1 into 10 power minus 31. In the first session only I told. 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kgs. What is the mass of proton? Mass of proton 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kgs. 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kgs. Divide by r square. Correct? Got it? Now, if I solve this, or let's take the ratios. If I take the ratios Fe by Fg, what I'll get? 9 into 10 power 9. Okay, let's write 9 into 1.6 into 1.6 into 10 powers, I am writing separately. 10 power 9, 10 power minus 19 whole square. So 10 power minus 19 whole square is 10 power minus 38. Correct? Minus 38 plus 9, minus 29. So this will be 10 power minus 29 divided by r square. Now what about gravitational force? I can write this as 6.674 into 9.1 into 1.67, 6.674 into 9.1 into 1.67 into 10 powers, 10 power minus 11, 10 power minus 31, 10 power minus 27. So this will be 31 plus 11, 41, 42, plus 27, 52, 62, 69, correct? So this will be into 10 power minus 69 divided by r square, right? I hope we are correct. Calculation wise? Okay. Just do your calculation also. Now, here this and this will be cancelled. If I solve this, what I'll get? Let me use the calculator. You can also use your calculator. So this will be 9 into 1.6 into 1.6, 23.04 divided by 6.674 into 9.1 into 1.67, 101.424. It's a big value. Then into 10 power minus 29 minus 69 in the denominator. The 69 will go up. 69 minus 29 is 10 power 40. Correct? So now this value will be 23.04 divided by the entire thing. This is around 0.23 into 10 power 40. So here, just see, let me write it here only. This entire division will give me around 0.23 into 10 power 40. I hope you can see this is 10 power 40. So now I can write this as 2.3 into 10 power 39 Newton. Not Newton, this is the ratio. Okay. So the ratio is 2.3 into 10 power 39. Now just understand how strong is the electrostatic force from the gravitational force. Correct? This is the ratio. Now the ratio is, this is Fe by Fg. If I take this Fg on the other side, Fe is 10 power 39 times Fg. If you see the order, right? 10 power 39. How strong electrostatic force is from the gravitational force. Got it? So now this is the answer of the first part. Done? Let's see the second part. What is the second part? For 2 protons they are asking. So now this for 2 protons is a homework for you. It's same as we did this one. You have to do this one. Try it on your own. This is a homework. For 2 protons you have to find out. Okay? Everything will be same. Here what will happen? 2 protons will be there. So this will be plus E. This will be plus E, the charge. Here the mass will be mass of proton. Mass of proton. The distance you can consider as R. Anyways, it will be cancelled while taking the ratio. Okay, find the electrostatic force, find the gravitational force, take a ratio. Take the ratio of both. Alright? So this is homework for you. Now let's see the third part. So third part is, okay, there is no third part, there is a B part. Estimate the accelerations of electron and proton due to the electrical force of their mutual attraction. Electrical force of their mutual attraction means electrostatic force between them. When they are 1 angstrom apart. 1 angstrom means 1 into 10 power minus 10 meter. So one electron and proton are kept at a distance of 10 power minus 10 meter. Obviously, there will be attraction force between them. So they are asking find the accelerations of both. Okay, again interesting. Let's try it. Now, 1 electron and 1 proton is kept. The charge is minus E. Here the charge is plus E. Okay. Mass is mass of electron. Mass is mass of proton. Distance between them is given to be 1 angstrom. Correct? 1 angstrom means 1 into 10 power minus 10 meter. 1 into 10 power minus 10 meter. Now, how do we find out the acceleration? See, understand, if this charge, if I hold it here and if I bring this negative charge here and if I remove my hand, this charge will suddenly start moving towards this. Now, with what acceleration will it move? That acceleration we have to find out. Fine. This charge also, if I hold it here and if I bring this positive charge here and if I remove my hand, this charge will start moving towards it with a very high speed, with a very high acceleration. That acceleration we have to find out. How to find out the acceleration? If any object is moving, how to find out the acceleration? The force on that object divided by the mass of that object. So here first we have to find out the electrostatic force, then we'll divide by the masses. We'll get the acceleration. So now let's first find out the electrostatic force. Electrostatic force, write down how much will you write the electrostatic force. You can comment also. Electrostatic force K Q1 Q2 E square by R square, that is 1 into 10 power minus 10 whole square. Correct? Or let's write first R square, then we'll write the values. So this will be 9 into 10 power 9 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 whole square divide by 1 into 10 power minus 10 whole square. I hope I'm correct. Now, this is, if I just write it down, this will be 9 into 1.6 into 1.6. How much will it be? 9 into 1.6 into 1.6. 23.04. 23.04 into 10 power 9. This is 10 power minus 38. 10 power minus 38 into 10 power 9. Minus 38 plus 9 is 10 power minus 29. And this is 10 power minus 20. 10 power minus 10 whole square is 10 power minus 20. 10 power minus 20 and above 10 power minus 29. So this will be 10 power minus 9. 10 power minus 9. Correct? 23.04 into 10 power minus 9 Newton is the force on each of them. Now we have to find the acceleration. Let's find the acceleration. I can write this as 2.3 into 10 power minus 8 Newton. Can I write this as 2.3 into 10 power minus 8 Newton? Now, acceleration on this. Now, acceleration of electron will be force on electron divided by mass of electron. As simple as that. And force on electron is electrostatic force. So this will be force, electrostatic force divided by mass of electron, that is 2.3 into 10 power minus 8 divided by 9.1 into 10 power minus 31. Are yes or no? Are yes or no? So this will be, now this 31 will go up. 31 minus 8 is 23. 2.3 divided by 9.1, how much it will be? 2.3 divided by 9.1, 0.25. So this will be 0.25 into 10 power 31 minus 8, 23, correct? So this I can write it as 2.5 into 10 power 22 meter per second square. Acceleration it is. Meter per second square. Correct? I hope you got this. With this much acceleration, see how much 10 power 22, the order is 10 power 22. With this much high acceleration, the electron will move towards the proton. Note it down. Now, acceleration of proton. Again, very simple. Acceleration of proton is equal to force experienced by the proton divided by the mass of proton. Force experienced by the proton is nothing but the electrostatic force divided by the mass of proton. Now that is 2.3 into 10 power minus 8 divided by mass of proton, that is 1.67 into 10 power minus 27. How much this will be? 27 minus 8, 19. 2.3 divided by 1.67, how much it will be? 2.3 divided by 1.67. How much this will be? 1.37 into 10 power 19. Correct? Or let's take 1.4. Round off. Meter per second square. So electron is having less mass than proton, so it is moving with high acceleration. It is moving with a bit less acceleration, but still it is very high, 10 power 19, the order. So easy questions, right? Let's go further. Today's session we'll cover a bit fast. because there are too many questions and we have a limited time. Now, a charged metallic sphere A is suspended by a nylon thread. A charged metallic sphere A is suspended by a nylon thread. Okay, this is A. Positive charge it is having. A lot of positive charge. It is completely charged. Another charged metallic sphere B held by an insulating handle is brought close to A, such that distance between their centers is 10 centimeter. Another charged metallic sphere with an insulating handle. So now this is brought near to this A, this is B, and the distance between their centers is given to be 10 centimeters. Alright. The resulting repulsion of A is noted. So now first let's note the resulting repulsion of A. Both have positive charges, so the repulsion force will be there. Repulsion on A will be the electrostatic force between them. Let's write F. Now F is equal to K. If I assume this as Q1 and if I assume this as Q2, can I do that? Yes or no? K, Q1, Q2 by R square. Now R is given to be 10 centimeter. R is given to be 10 centimeter. So this I can write as 10 power minus 1 meter. If I divide by 100, I will get 0.1 meter. 0.1 meter means 10 power minus 1. So I can write it as 10 power minus 1 whole square. 10 power minus 1 whole square. So this will be K Q1 Q2 divided by 10 power minus 2 or into 10 power 2 you can write. Okay. Let's leave it here itself. This is the force. Now, spheres A and B are touched by uncharged spheres C and D respectively. So now A and B were there. Uncharged spheres C and D were brought. C and D are then removed and B is brought close to A to a distance of 5 centimeter between their centers. So what they did is, this was A, this was B, alright. So now this A and B and this was C and D. These were neutral, C and D. They were brought near, C was brought near to A and was touched. D was brought near to B and was touched. Fine. Then what happened? These two were removed. And these two, this A and this B, they were brought close to each other, and this time the distance between their centers was 5 centimeter. Alright. So now since the distance has reduced, the force of repulsion would have increased. Is it? Let's find out. So now, if I write the force, we have to find the force, correct? What is the expected repulsion of A on the basis of Coulomb's law? So now we have to find the expected repulsion of A. Spheres A and C and spheres B and D have identical sizes. Why they have given this? Ignore the sizes of A and B in comparison to the separation between their centers. Fine. So now A and C and B and D have identical sizes. What does this mean? Here, when they are touched, obviously some charge transfer would have happened. Earlier this was having Q1 and this was having Q2. But now in the final, it will not be Q1 and Q2. Why? Because this happened in the middle. And because of this, there would have been some charge which would have transferred from this A to C. Some charge would have transferred from B to D. Now how much charge? How much charge will be transferred? Now, if the sizes are same, suppose two bodies are there, both are metallic spheres, both are of same material. Now, if the sizes are same, the charge was Q1. Now, this entire Q1 will be distributed between both the bodies. distributed equally because the sizes are same. So this Q1 will be distributed equally between both the bodies. So how much charge? This will become Q1 by 2 and this will also be charged by Q1 by 2. Charging by conduction, if you remember in the first session. So this is basically charging by conduction which happened. Here, this was having Q2. Both are having same sizes as mentioned. Q2 will distribute equally between both the spheres. So this will become Q2 by 2 and this will be charged by Q2 by 2. So what is happening basically is half of the charge is transferred to the other sphere. From here also, half of the charge is transferred to the other sphere. Okay. So now what we are left with is Q1 by 2 and Q2 by 2. So since the distance is reduced, the force of repulsion would have increased. But here if you see the charges, Q2 by 2, the charges are also reduced. Now let's see what is the force of repulsion on A. So F dash is equal to K product of both the charges Q1 by 2 into Q2 by 2 divide by the separation between them square of the separation between them, that is 5 centimeter means 0.05 meter. So 0.05 whole square. Now this I can write as K Q1 Q2 by 4 into, how much is this? 0.05 whole square. 0.0025. After decimal 2 digits are there. If I square it after decimal 4 digits will be there. Correct? And 5 5s are 25. So this will be 0.0025. Now if I multiply this, 25 4s are 100. This will become 0.01. K Q1 Q2 divide by 0.01. Now what is 0.01? 10 power minus 2. So I'll write it as 10 power minus 2. So the force of repulsion now on A is K Q1 Q2 upon 10 power minus 2, and earlier K Q1 Q2 upon 10 power minus 2, the force remains the same. Fine. When the charges of both the spheres are halved, charges on both the spheres are halved and the distance between them is also halved, the force remains the same. Clear? From here what we got to know, when the charges on both the point charges, when the charges on both the point charges are halved and the distance is also halved, the force remains the same. Clear? I hope you understood this question. Again, it was interesting, and one concept also we got to know, the distribution of charge, how it happens. Okay, how the charge flows from one body to other if the sizes are same. Let's go to the next. Now, forces between multiple charges. This is the important topic what we have to study today. Forces between multiple charges. So now suppose some charge Q1 is there, some charge Q2 is there, some point charge Q3 is there. Now force on this charge is also kept, this charge is also kept. This will also repel it, this will also repel it. So what will be the total force on this particular charge? The force on this charge will be due to both the charges. How do we find out how much will be the force? Now, what happens is, if I individually find out the forces, if only these two are there, if I don't consider this, if I forget about this, if I just consider these two charges in the free space or anywhere, now the force on this charge due to this charge will be along the same line, and since both are positive, it will be a repulsion, so it will be outside, okay, and this will be force on 3 due to 2, due to 1. This is FQ1. So this will be force on 3 due to 1. Now if I forget about this charge, if I leave this charge, if I consider only these two charges, the force on this charge due to this charge will be along the same line, force on 3 due to 2, F32. So this will be F31 vector, this will be F32 vector. Vector why? Because they have direction also. Alright. Now, suppose if I bring another charge, any charge, Q4, the force on this will now be due to this also. The force on this due to this will be along the same line. The direction will be like this, force on 3 due to 4. Correct? What is the net force on this charge? If a body is there which is experiencing some 3-4 kind of forces with in different directions, what do we do for the net force? Vector sum. So the net force will be the vector sum of all the forces experienced by this particular charge. Clear? So here, if I want to write F net on Q3, that is equal to force with direction. Force on 3 due to 1 plus force on 3 due to 2. Got the point? So here some net force will come in this direction. Now what I want to explain you is, what I want to make you understand is, the force on this charge due to all the charges is the vector sum. Vector sum of the individual forces. Okay, the force due to this charge on this charge will not be affected by the presence of this charge. The force on this charge due to this charge will not be affected by the presence of this charge. Thousands of charges, if they are there here, the force on this charge due to any individual charge will not be affected by other charges, by the presence of other charges, and that is the principle of superposition. Now suppose there are n charges. So if I generalize this and write force, net force F net on Qn. Now suppose n number of charges are kept here. I have to find force on the nth charge due to all other charges. How much this will be? Force on n due to 1 plus force on n due to 2, like this, plus force on n due to n minus 1. Clear? Generalized one. Individual forces are these. We are taking the vector sum of all. This force will not be affected by the presence of other charges. The second force will not be affected by the presence of other charges. Okay? So now, note down this from board's point of view, this definition is important. In JEE, no one will ask you this definition. They will ask the concept, questions based on the concept. But the definition, force on any charge due to a number of other charges, force on any charge due to a number of other charges is the vector sum of all the forces on the charge due to the other charges. Clear? Force on any charge due to a number of other charges is the vector sum of all the forces on that charge due to other charge. Taken one at a time. Taken one at a time. This individual forces, the individual forces are unaffected due to the presence of other charges. Clear? This is termed as principle of superposition. Note down the definition. It's important. Done. Now, on this concept, on this small concept, let's do some good questions. Okay? Three equal charges Q are held fixed at three corners of an equilateral triangle of side A. So, equilateral triangle is there. Is it looking like equilateral? So, on three corners, three equal charges Q are held fixed at three corners. So, one corner is this. So, Q, one corner is this, again Q, and one corner is this. The charge is Q. Okay. Now, find the Coulomb force experienced by one of the charges due to the rest two. So, we have to find the force experienced on any one of the charge due to the presence of other two. Okay. So, now, the side is given to be A, and A. How will we do it? Principle of superposition, just now we have understood. How will we do it? First of all, let's take this particular charge. We'll find out the force on this charge. Any charge you can take. Okay. Now then we have to find out the individual forces due to this charge, and then we'll take the vector sum. Very simple. The concept is very simple. So from here, if I consider this charge first, the force on this charge due to this charge, force on this charge due to this charge, it will be along the same line in this direction, that is F. Let's take it F. The value of this F will be K, the product of the charges Q square divided by the square of the distance between them, KQ square by A square. Alright. Now, the force on this charge due to this charge will again be in this same line, along the same line and in this direction. The value of this F will again be KQ square by A square. See, K, then the charges Q square and the distance between them A square. So both the forces are same. Okay. Both the forces are of equal magnitude. Now, we have to find the vector sum. What is the angle between them? For vector sum, we need to know the angle between them, right? This is an equilateral triangle. So this is 60 degrees. Are yes or no? If this is 60 degrees, this is also 60 degrees. Clear? So F net will be, F net on this charge will be root of, let me write it here. Root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta. Are yes or no? Vector sum. F1 square, here F1 is F, plus F2 square, here again F2 is F, plus 2 F1 F2 cos 60 degrees. Correct? Now here, this will be F square plus F square 2F square plus this 2F square cos 60. 2F square cos 60 is how much? 1 by 2. So this will be 1 by 2. So this 2 and 2 will be cancelled. Now 2 plus 1, 3. Root of 3F square. That is nothing but root 3F. I can write this as root 3F. So the net force on this charge is root 3F. And since the magnitude of both the forces is same, the net force will be at 30 degrees from the horizontal. 30 degrees below the horizontal towards left. 30 degrees below the horizontal towards left is the direction. and the magnitude is root 3f. Root 3f means f net is equal to root 3f, that is root 3 k q square by a square. Root 3 kq square by a square. It was a very simple question. Okay, these kind of questions they ask in boards. Now, again the variations are possible. This is one set, one kind of question, one type of question. Now in this type, there are different variations. Either what they can do, they can give one charge as negative charge. Then what will happen? The direction of this force will be reversed. Magnitude will be same, but the direction will be, the net direction of net force will be changed. Here maybe they can do both these charges are negative. Then both the directions will be opposite. Fine. So likewise, they can make the variations, they can make the changes and different kind of questions you can get. Now will you be able to solve all those questions? Yes? Alright. Let's go further. For equal charges Q, again the same kind of question I think. 4 equal charges Q are held fixed at 4 corners of a square of side A. So there is a square. The side is A. In the 4 corners, there are 4 charges. Now all the 4 charges are Q, equal charges. They can give you unequal charges also. Now, find the Coulomb force experienced by one of the charges due to the rest 3. So let's select any one charge. I'll find on this only. You can try on other charges also and see what is the difference. Now, tell me what will be the force on this charge due to this charge? Along the same line, that means in this direction, both are positive, repulsion. Fine, equal charges. Now here, let's say the force is F. What will be this F? K, Q square divided by A square, right? Okay. Now force on this charge due to this charge along this line. Now what is the value of this force? K, Q divided by A square. KQ square by A square. Same. The magnitude of force will be same from both the charges. Now let's say from this, F1 is equal to F2 is equal to F. Or let us give the name A, B, C and D. These are 4 corners of the square. Okay. So now force due to this A is equal to force due to this B, and that is equal to F. Sorry, not B, C. Okay. Now force due to this Q, it will be along this line outwards. How much this force will be? F due to B, that is equal to K Q square divided by the distance between them is how much? The distance between them is how much? Root 2A. Correct? It is the diagonal of the square. Root 2A. So this will be root 2 into A whole square. That is KQ square by 2A square. So that is basically F by 2, correct? KQ square by A square and a 2 came. So this is basically F by 2. Force on this D due to this B is F by 2. So now we have got all the forces. Can we find the vector sum and the net force? Yes, let's do that. So what finally we got is, this is the D charge. It is having one force in this direction F, one force in this direction F. Both are equal. So I'll try to make of equal length. And this is F by 2. Okay. Now what we'll do, how to take the vector sum? See, these both are equal and are at 90 degrees. So now the F net will be somewhere in the middle. Due to these two, let's take F net 1. F net 1 is due to these two. And then F by 2 is also there in this line. So the final F net will be the sum of F net 1 and F by 2. Since they are in the same line, we can just directly add them. First, let's find out F net 1. Root of F square plus F square. Why? Both are at 90 degrees. If two vectors are at 90 degrees, A vector and B vector, the vector sum is root of A square plus B square. Or if you want to write further, 2AB, 2FF cos 90. Now cos 90 is 0. This entire term will become 0. We'll be left with this only. Okay? I hope you are in 12th standard. This much you will be knowing. So this is basically under root 2F square, that is root 2F. So this F net 1 is root 2F. Now in this charge, there are two forces. One is F by 2 and in the same line there is root 2F. So what will be the vector sum or what will be the net force? F net is equal to root 2F plus F by 2. So that is F whole root 2 plus 1 by 2. And what is F? F is KQ square by A square inside the bracket root 2 plus 1 by 2. Clear? I write this a bit small. F root 2 plus 1 by 2. KQ square by A square root 2 plus 1 by 2. This is the F net. This is our answer. So this angle will be from the horizontal, if you see, this is 45 degrees. Correct? This is at this corner. This is this at this line F net will be. F net will be at this line. So from this line, this is 45 degrees. This will be along the line of diagonal. So now see, the force on this, along this line of diagonal will be outwards, the F net. On this also, due to all these charge, will be along this diagonal outwards. On this charge, along this diagonal outwards. On this charge, along this diagonal outwards. In any charge you find out, the magnitude will be same because all the charges are same and the distance is same between all the charges. Okay? Done? This is A. I hope you can understand. It's not Q. Now again the variations are possible. They can put this as minus Q. They can put this as minus Q. They can put this as minus Q. Or all the three as minus Q. Variations are possible. They can change the value of charge. Suppose this is Q, this is 2Q. This is 4Q. This is 5Q. Anything they can give. Fine. But if you know the concept, you can solve all those questions. Alright? Concept is important and vectors are very important. If you are not strong in vectors, practice vectors every day. Very important. All the questions which you will find in all entire 12th, vectors will be important. Okay? Now, let's go further. Four equal charges Q are held fixed at the four corners of a square of side A. Now again, they are telling there is a square. The side is A, and A. Four equal charges Q are kept. Q, 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 and Q. Find the Coulomb force experienced by a charge Q kept at the center of the square. So at the center of the square, there is another charge which is kept, and this charge is Q. We have to find the net force, the total force experienced by this charge. Can you tell me? Some people can tell orally. This is just a 1 mark question. You can tell orally. Let's try to find out. See, on this charge, forces will be due to all the four charges. First, if I try to find out the force on this charge due to this charge. So along this line, and since both are positive, both are same sign, it will be like this. Okay. Let's say F. Now the value of this F is K Q by this distance. How much is this distance? Half of the diagonal. Diagonal is root 2a. Half of that is a by root 2. A by root 2 whole square. Correct? Root 2a divided by 2, root 2 will come. Simple. Alright. So this is the force value of F. Now, the force on the same charge due to this charge along this line outwards. What will be this F? F, Q, and distance is again a by root 2. So since the distance and charges everything is same, force will be, the magnitude will be same. Now, force on this charge due to this charge on this line in this direction, F. Again the force, the value will be same because this is a by root 2. And due to this charge, along this line it will be, and this will be F. Again this is a by root 2, so the value of this force will be F only. Now there is one charge at the center which is having one force like this, and the same along the same line there is another force in the opposite direction. It is having one force like this, along the same line, same diagonal, another force like this, opposite direction. What is the net force on this charge? What is the net force on this charge Q? 0. This force and this force will cancel each other. This force and this force will cancel each other. Alright, the net force on this charge is 0. Suppose a negative charge was kept inside, still it would be 0. Why? If you reverse this direction, then this will come this side, this will come this side. This will come this side, this will come this side. Still it will be 0. Alright. Now sometimes what they do is, now a child, what he always remembers, okay, if I get a question like this, where in the four corners of the square there are four charges kept, if there is a charge at the center, the net force is 0. Don't remember this, because again this question can come with different variations. Sometimes what they do is, now they also know that the child has remembered it, because this question every teacher will tell, right? They will remove this charge and keep a minus q here. Now the moment they keep a minus q here, F net is not 0. If they change any charge, if they change the value of any charge, suppose instead of q, if I give here 2q, rest all are q, the net force is not 0. Alright? It is only when all the charges are same. Fine. So F net will be F net on Q is equal to 0. All right. Similar question they ask in electric field also. What is the electric field due to all the 4 charges at the center of the square? Fine. We'll see it later on when we'll study about electric field. Okay. Let's go further. 2 charges. Now this is an important question. It is having a good concept inside it. Okay. You have to use your common sense also in this question. Try solving it. 2 charges plus 4q and plus 9q are placed r distance apart. Let's place them. So 2 charges plus 4q plus 9q are placed r distance apart. Okay. Where should a third charge be kept on the line joining the 2 given charges such that the third charge is in equilibrium? What does this mean? Where should a third charge be kept between on the line joining these 2 charges such that it is in equilibrium? Equilibrium means that charge is not moving. However you have kept it, it is kept like that. So when does this happen? When the net force on that charge is 0. Because if the net force is not 0, it will start moving. Correct? Now, we have to find where should we keep that charge. Now there are 3 possibilities. This line joining these 2 charges is infinite. Lines are infinite. Correct? Now that charge, there is a possibility that that charge is kept towards the left of this 4q. Right? It can be here. There is a possibility that charge can be between these 2 anywhere. And there is a possibility that charge can be towards the right of this 9q. Now where should we keep this charge? There are 3 possibilities. So you have to first think logically. Okay? And then we will solve the question. Do not jump directly in the question. Otherwise, you will take a lot of time to solve this and you will get a wrong answer. Logically, if you think the force on this charge due to this charge, let's first see only the directions. Okay? For net force to be 0, suppose there are 2 forces in an object. For net force to be 0, the direction of both the forces should be opposite and the magnitude should be equal. Correct? If there is a body, now 2 forces are there on it. If I want the net force to be 0, very common sense is both the forces should be in opposite direction and of the same magnitude. Right? If they are not in opposite direction, never the net force can be 0. The same logic we have to put here. See, the force on this charge due to this charge, it will be in this direction. It will be in this direction. Now, because this is plus 4q, this is also a positive charge. You can take any, you can consider a negative charge also. Okay, not a problem. If you take a negative charge, then force, okay, let's first consider a positive charge. Force on this due to this will be in this direction. Now, force on this due to this individually, again this is a positive, this is positive, it will repel, this will be in this direction. Both the forces are in same direction. Can the net force on this charge ever be 0? It can never be 0. Right? It can never be 0. That means this possibility is no more. It does not exist. It is not possible. We cannot keep the charge this side. The net force will never be 0 because the directions are same. If you keep a negative charge also, the direction because of this will be this side, and the direction on this direction of force because of this will also be this side. Net force can never be 0. You can consider any charge, you will get the same answer. Okay. Now, let's see this one. Force on this charge due to this charge in this direction. Force on this charge due to this charge again in this direction. It will repel. Both are in same directions. The net force can never be zero. Again, this possibility does not exist. Now this case. The force on this charge due to this charge. The force on this charge due to this charge, it will repel. It will be in this direction. And the force on this charge due to this charge, again this will repel it. It will be in this direction. See, the force came in opposite directions. The net force can be zero if the magnitude of the forces becomes equal. The net force can be zero if the magnitude of the forces becomes zero. That means what do we have to do? If I consider this Q at some distance, let's say this Q is kept at a distance of x from 4Q. So from this charge, the distance will be r minus x. We have to find this x basically. Okay. So now the force on this Q due to this will be K 4Q in, let's write it in yellow. K into 4Q into Q divided by x square. The force on this due to this, right? Now this force, the force on this due to this should be equal to the force on this due to this. K, force on this due to this one is K 9Q into Q divided by r minus x whole square. Correct? If you just solve this equation, you will get your answer. K and K will be cancelled. Q and Q will be cancelled. This Q and this Q will be cancelled. Now what we are left with? We are left with 4 r minus x whole square is equal to 9x square. Correct? Is equal to, you can write also, for this charge to be in equilibrium, the net force should be 0. That means force on this due to this plus the force on this due to this should be 0. Okay, after that you can start solving. Now if I take square root on both the sides, I'll write for equilibrium. Otherwise some people will be like, how they became equal. They did not become equal. I am making them equal by keeping this charge at some distance. Okay. Now if I take the square root both the sides, what will I get? 2r minus x is equal to 3x. 2r minus x is equal to 3x. Solve this. 2r minus 2x is equal to 3x. This will go that side. 5x is equal to 2r and x is equal to 2 by 5r. X is equal to 2 by 5r. We got our answer. That means this charge should be kept at a distance of 2 by 5r. If the distance between them is 5, then this distance should be 2. If the distance between them is 10, then this distance should be 4. So basically, the distance of this charge Q should be 2 by 5 times of r. Clear? I hope you got this. Try practicing it on your own. It's a very simple question. Very simple. First, what we did, from common sense, from logic, we just tried to find out whether the charge will be here, here or here. There are only 3 possibilities because they've already told along the line joining the charge. Okay, there are only 3 possibilities. Now from common sense we found out, okay, the charge can be here. Then for the net force to be 0, the magnitude of the forces should be same. That's what we did. Okay. Let's go further. Now this time the charges are opposite. This is plus, this is minus. Last time both were of same sign. So now from here you have to remember, you can remember one thing. If the charges are having same sign, the third charge to be in equilibrium, it has to be kept between them. If you want, you can mug it up. There is no need. Logically also you can find out, but if you want, you can remember this to reduce your time in exam. For the competition, in boards you have to show, you have to tell everything. Why here it is not possible, why here it is not possible, why here it is possible. But in competition, to save your time, if such kind of question comes, again this simple question will not come. It will come with other concepts also. To save your time, you can just remember, if there are two charges of the same sign, the third charge to be in equilibrium, it should be between the charges. Okay. Now here, the signs are opposite. So now plus 4q is there. See, two charges plus 4q and minus 9q are placed at a distance r apart. Where should a third charge be kept on the line joining the given charges such that the third charge is in equilibrium? Same question, only the sign of this 9q is changed. Okay, let's try to find out the answer. Again, there are three possibilities. What are three possibilities? First, the charge can be here. The charge can be here. The charge can be here. Okay. Let's see. If I first see the direction, due to this charge, the force on this charge due to this charge will be away from the charge. Now the force on this charge due to this charge, this is minus. I have considered a positive charge. Okay. This is minus, so the direction will be this side. Net force can be zero if the magnitude of both the forces become same. Right? Net force can be zero if the magnitude of both the forces become same. Alright, we got this. Now let's see here. The force on this charge due to this positive charge will be away from the charge. The force on this charge due to this negative charge will be towards this charge. It is attracting. Both the forces are in same direction. The net force can not be zero. This possibility is not there. This possibility doesn't exist. Alright. Here if you see, the force on this charge due to this charge is away from the charge. And the force on this charge due to this charge will be towards the charge. Again, this side also it is possible. Correct? The possibility is there. We don't know whether 100% it will be zero here, the net force will be zero, it will be in equilibrium or not. But at least we can sense a possibility. Right? Now, once there are two possibilities, let's go in detail, in deep. Okay? Here if you see, this is a small charge, this is a big charge. Correct? So now due to this charge, the force on this charge, if I consider this distance x, this entire distance will be r plus x. Or let's first go that side. Two possibilities are there. You can start solving for both. If I consider this distance as x, that this is kept at x distance from this minus 9q. This distance will be r plus x. Now you tell me one thing. This charge is more. This distance is also small. That means the force due to this charge on this charge, if suppose this is F1, the force on this charge due to this charge, if this is F2, here the charge is also more, the distance is also less. Here the charge is less and the distance is also more. The charge is less, because of which the force will be less. Experienced by that? Comparing with this. And the distance is also more. That means the force will definitely be lesser than the force due to this. F2 will always be less than F1. F2 can never be equal to F1. Can never. Because here the charge is also more and the distance is also less. Force increases. Force is directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the distance. The lesser is the distance, the more is the force. Here the charge is also more and the distance is also less. The force due to this charge on this charge will always be more than the force on that charge due to this charge, because the charge is also small and the distance is also more, which is coming in the denominator. Right? Very simple. If there is a powerful person standing here, the distance is also less. He can easily hit him, no? If there is a weak person standing and that too far, he can never reach there. His force on him will be lesser than his force on him. Right? Again, that possibility is not there. Why? Because force due to this charge will always be less than force due to this charge. Clear? If I write properly, force on Q due to 4Q will always be less than force on Q due to minus 9Q. Okay? Okay? At this side. This side, if you see, now if I consider this distance as x from 4Q, so then this entire distance will be r plus x. This is r, this is x, r plus x, right? Now see, can the magnitude of forces be equal? Let's see. This is less charge compared to this, but the distance is also small. That means the influence of this charge on this charge can be equal to the influence of this charge on this charge. Why? Although the charge is bigger, but the distance is also increased, right? Which will reduce the effect of force. The charge is bigger, but the distance is also increased. Here the charge is small. That means the influence of force will be less, but the distance is also decreased. So the influence of force will be more. So the force on this due to this can be equal to the force on this due to this. The charge is small, but the distance is also small. The charge is bigger, but the distance is also more. Got the point? Fine. So here, this is force on Q due to 4Q, force on Q due to minus 9Q. If both the magnitudes become equal, it will be in equilibrium. So from here what we can write is force, okay, one second. Force on Q due to 4Q should be equal to force on Q due to 9Q. Yes, due to minus 9Q, let's say. Okay, this condition is for equilibrium. For equilibrium. So from here, force on Q due to 4Q, how much is it? It will be K into Q into 4Q divided by the square of the distance between this and this, right? That is x. So x square. Correct? Then here that is equal to K into Q into 9Q divided by, now here the distance from here to here is r and that is x more. So this will be r plus x. So this will be r plus x whole square, correct? Are yes or no? So now from here if you see k, q and this small q, k, q and this small q will be cancelled. So if I just cancel this, what I'll get, k, q, q, k, q, q. So from here, I can write 4 by x square is equal to 9 by r plus x whole square. Now instead, I can directly write If I cross multiply this r plus x whole square, if I take this side, it will be 4 into r plus x whole square, that is equal to 9 into x square. Now, if I do square root both the sides, how much I will get? 2r plus x is equal to 3x. If I do square root both the sides, 2r plus x, 2 into r plus x whole is equal to 3x. So from here, 2r plus 2x is equal to 3x. 2r plus 2x is equal to 3x. So now, if this 2x goes to the other side, what I'll get? X is equal to 2r. Correct? From here, x is equal to 2r. X is equal to 2r. That means this charge q has to be kept. It has to be at a distance 2r from this charge 4q. Clear? I hope you got it. So the separation between them is r, and this charge should be kept 2r to the left of 4q. Now if 4q is this side, minus 9q would be this side, then it would be 2r to the right of 4q. Okay, this x what we have taken, this x is 2r. Clear? I hope you got it. So now this way we have to do this question. First we have to think logically where it will come in equilibrium. Now between these two charges it will for sure not come in equilibrium, correct? Because the force from both is towards the same direction, correct? It can be here, it can be here. See, you can solve for this also. Considering, suppose you are not using so much brain, you only saw the direction. From the direction you got to know here it is not possible for sure, but here it can be, here it can be. So now, not using much brain, if you just thought, okay, let's take this as x and start solving, you can do that. You will still get the same answer. You will get 2r from this. I'll tell you how. Let's see this. Suppose if I have taken this as x, okay, let's say. So now what will happen? Force, we have to equate the forces. So force on this, due to this charge will be k into q into 9q divided by x square. K into q into 9q divided by x square, that should be equal to force on this charge due to this charge, correct? So this will be k into q into 4q divided by, this is how much? R plus x. R plus x. R plus x whole square. See what will happen. This k, this q, this q, this k, this q, this q will be cancelled. Here 9 by x square is equal to 4 by r plus x whole square. Square root both the sides, 3 by x is equal to, or let's first cross multiply. 9r plus x whole square is equal to 4x square. Square root 3r plus x whole is equal to 2x. 3r plus 3x is equal to 2x. Taking this 3x to the other side, what I'll get is 3r is equal to, how much is this? Minus x. Correct? That means x is equal to minus 3r. X is equal to minus 3r. Now from here, we have taken x from here. From here, if I go minus 3r distance, that means opposite side. From here, I have taken this as x. Now x came as negative. So from here, if I go to the negative direction, to the opposite direction, minus 3r. This is r. Extra 2r, minus 3r will be here only. Are yes or no? That means if I consider this as x and I solve, I'll get minus 3r. Minus 3r means r plus 2r. 3r in opposite direction. We'll get this point itself. Clear? So you can do anything. There is no need for this, but I hope you understood this. Fine. In the next session, just practice this question on your own. You'll understand better. In the next session, we'll be doing permittivity and relative permittivity, and we'll be doing questions based on that. Fine. I hope you liked today's session. If you liked it, do press the like button. Share it with your other friends who are preparing for their boards and competition. Alright, subscribe to our channel and do not forget to click on the bell icon so that you never miss any update from us. We'll meet up in the next session. Till then, keep learning from We Learning. All the best.